Mr. Marshall, organizers, distinguished guests, it is our pleasure to be hosting you to this venue, the Gdańsk Science and Technology Park. This is a very special place in that it is here that we accelerate startups. We support young inventors so that they can implement their projects. This support involves not only providing them with space, but also those inventors in our space, Space for Makers, are able to build their prototypes and test their technologies. The conference on hydrogen is a very important event. It appears that hydrogen is one of the ways of solving the problem of energy transformation in Poland, and it is a very complex problem requiring massive activity on the part of the market. In this venue, ladies and gentlemen, Polish students implement two very nice projects. Of course, there are many more than those, but referring to hydrogen technologies that constitute the future and that are really cutting edge, one group of students built a cosmic rocket here for a competition in the US. It is really to be launched. There are field tests now being carried out, so the space rocket is going to be used. And the other one has built a bolide, Formula One bolide, of course, a smaller one in terms of scale, for another competition, a competition of constructors of such. Also, other space vehicles were created here again to participate in international competitions that Poland won on multiple occasions. So I believe that the spirit of this place can also support hydrogen technologies and turn us into world masters. Why not? And perhaps we will become a leading country in terms of the development of hydrogen technologies. In order to give you some more idea of the spirit of this place and on how fast technologies keep on changing and developing, on entering this conference room, and actually when you leave it, on the right-hand side, you can approach a computer, the Odra computer, one of the two working computers of this kind in Poland, I guess, in the world. So quite an interesting fact. That was some 30 years ago that this computer was made. See how much space it needs. And as far as I remember, it has a few megabytes of RAM. I think it's 5 or 10, perhaps. I can't remember exactly. So what you have is a few thousand times more on your mobiles. So fast has the technology developed over the last 30 years, and it keeps on changing really fast. So it is my hope that this conference will bring fruit in the form of develop new hydrogen-related technologies. I wish you a fruitful debate, interesting conference, and a lot of interesting ideas. I would like to thank the Regional Economic Chamber of Pomerania. I would like to thank you for choosing this venue for your conference. I hope that this will mark the beginning of our cooperation and that the Hydrogen Valley will turn this venue into the place that it will frequent more and more often. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I would like to now ask the Marshal of the Pomorskie Voivodeship, Mr. Mieczysław Struk, to give us a few opening remarks. The Marshal is also a signatory of the Pomeranian Hydrogen Valley. Ladies and gentlemen, I will surely not limit myself to a few round words to begin the 4th International Conference devoted to power engineering and hydrogen technologies. I would like to give you a bit more input on that. First of all, drawing on to what we've heard from the director of the technological park here in the Lippe Street, I wanted to say that I'm very happy that you are so open to this kind of initiatives. I will be direct about that. The activities that you've mentioned, like the two companies and their projects that you've mentioned that operate here within the park, We would like to invite all space-related companies to the first that I was invited to yesterday. I got the invitation from the Parliament of Bremen, 16th to the 18th of November. All the Pomeranian companies related to space-related initiatives will be invited as well, and I think that the fair will be a great space to see where we are, and also will be an opportunity to strike cooperation in different forms. I believe that our potential is quite substantial, particularly pertaining to this domain that concerns location, marine location, that concerns new localization technologies. So I believe that Pomerania can specialize also in this domain.
Ja zabiegałem, wprost to powiem, o to spotkanie, można powiedzieć, wzajemnie się zabiegaliśmy z regionalnymi.
I took a lot of effort together with the regional economic chamber of Pomerania to make this event happen. We would like the self-government that prepares the most important document shaping developmental paths of the Pomorskie Voivodeship of this region, documents that in partnership with others supports the development of intelligence specializations and clusters in this region, is also interested. So we as self-government are interested also in hydrogen technologies. I'll tell you more. Perhaps it is important and might not be accepted by representatives of other regions, but actually we would like to become the leaders in this domain in Poland. That is why I would like to encourage companies, R&D centers, to enter into cooperation with Pomeranian R&D centers, but also with companies that already at this stage are interested, starting with the Lotus Group that is also a partner to this conference. I would like to encourage you to pay attention to Pomorskie, to the Pomeranian region, to see that the atmosphere is favorable to investments related to state-of-the-art technologies. We're making decisions on the developments of the economic paths. We are obliged in the eyes of the generations to come into reducing intensive use of fossil fuels. So we are obliged to reduce the exploitation of natural environment. We can do that by limiting the emissions of poisonous substances to the atmosphere, of smog and greenhouse gases. We have been taking activities towards this aim, encouraging self-governments also financially to considerably limit the emissions of dust and greenhouse gases to the atmosphere. And it is not only resulting from the fact that this is what we feel and that we get stimuli from the European Commission, from the European Council, that within the Green Deal expects intervention at all the stages, all the administrative levels in the regions. The potential of Pomeranian Voivodeship can first of all lie in renewable energy. As Voivodeship, we would like to build energy based on wind, sun, biomass, and biogas, also the one from the utilization of waste. We would also like to participate in the process of eliminating the sources of energy that are harmful to the environment, replacing them with those based on renewable technologies. That kind of activities we've been implementing for years now. It is worth mentioning the effects of the Regional Operational Program 2020 that is coming to its end. We have financed all sorts of R&D initiatives and also numerous investments on improving energy efficiency and development of RES. For R&D, we've invested over 50 million zlotys in energy, and to improve energy and efficiency and development of RES, almost 940 million zlotys. Owing to these investments, until the end of 2023, over 700 buildings will have been thermally modernized. 2,050 households will be effectively using energy, and also we will modernize 25 kilometers of the district heating and thousands of external lighting sources. This is just a result of our activities in the current programming period. We are sure that these will have an impact on the improvement of the quality of environment in our voivodeship. But is it worth discussing that and stopping at this point. Certainly, we should move on. One of the aspects of our attempts that we do not omit in the strategy of our development 2030, the document is called the Strategy of Development of Pomorskie till 2030. So we do not omit hydrogen-related technologies. We believe that we could reduce carbon footprint by developing innovative hydrogen fuel cells technologies and wind. We would like to become specialists in these areas. I'm thinking here about the entire region, together with entrepreneurs, with startups that have been mentioned here by Mr. Director at the beginning, but also with R&D centers. I think that nobody here needs to be convinced about the significance of hydrogen, about its energy storage potential and also its impact on electromobility. It is highly efficient as a fuel, not emitting harmful substances. Last year, the European Commission published strategy on hydrogen for Europe, for neutral Europe, and hydrogen is to be used as raw material, as a fuel, or as a carrier and storage of energy. It has a lot of potential applications in transportation, power, engineering, and construction. In 2018, it was estimated that until 2030, over 3 gigawatts of electrolyzers would be constructed, but last year, additional 5 gigawatts were added to these estimates. So the technological progress is enormous, but also the demand is there that requires this acceleration of various activities at any level. The focus of Hydrogen Council assume that until 2030, hydrogen might become the fuel, accelerating between 10 to 15 million cars, driving cars, and also 500,000 of lorries. Of course, that requires considerable investments, but from the European Commission, a lot of stimuli have been offered for such investments or specializations to be supported and financed. Of course, such investments need to be supported with a long-term coordinated policy. And here, as Pomeranian region, we have decided to actively join in. That is why 2 years ago, we created the Pomeranian Hydrogen Valley. We want to be an active participant in the process together with the entrepreneurs, with scientists, with startups. In 2017, we also established, as mentioned, the Pomeranian Hydrogen Valley, an initiative whose aim is to show that the activities concerning the development of renewable power engineering are not just our wishful thinking or buzzwords. The goal is to be conducive to partnerships, entering projects such as, for example, hydrogenating selected railway lines, for example, the line between Gdynia and Hel. There is the project of water connections between Tri-City ports and the Hel Peninsula, also introducing hydrogen into public transportation as well as port-related devices and vehicles. The Pomeranian Hydrogen Valley is an initiative by the Hydrogen Technology and Clean Technology, Carbon Technology Cluster, grouping entities whose functioning concentrates within the borders of the Pomorskie Voivodeship. I would like to tell you that I'm very happy about this initiative. It's not the first time that we've been talking about it with the Regional Economic Chamber of the Pomorskie Voivodeship that is interested in such cooperation, and it is interested in clusters, in the initiative to be developed and pushed forward and ahead, becoming leaders. Self-government will certainly actively participate in this process. Let Poland change. May it change using hydrogen technologies. May Pomorskie change and become the leader in this respect. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Marshall, for the warm words and for strengthening our conference with such an introduction. The facts that you presented is just a perfect launch to this conference. Now I would like to ask the president of Pomeranian Regional Chamber of Commerce to say a few words now. Mr. Jarosław Filipczak. Ladies and gentlemen, I prepared a speech, but on what we've heard from Mr. Marshall, which is difficult not to refer to it. I'm very happy about this bilateral cooperation. On the one hand, the Pomeranian self-government proves that we are determined to become the leaders, but I'm also very happy with the entire cooperation, and also I'm very happy that the Pomeranian Special Economic Zone has joined in and has multiple ideas on how to cooperate even closer. To it, we will have debates, presentations, technologies presented today in the course of the day until late evening hours. I believe until almost 6 p.m. we are going to work here. So I believe that all this will give us a very good know-how that will make it possible for us to change Poland hydrogen-wise. Nobody has to be persuaded into hydrogen. You can see it at the level of the government, also at the EU level. It is reflected in all the strategies. It shows how strongly we are entering hydrogen technologies. Of course, the Pomeranian Hydrogen Valley was the first one. This year, some other valleys have started joining in, and they keep on appearing. The support of self-government is not just the support of Marshal Mieczysław Struk, but also Marshal Leszek Bona, who will be the guest of the other second part of the meeting, is going to join in and will tell us about the challenges. We will learn what Pomorskie, or the Pomeranian region, wishes to do in terms of hydrogen-related activities. Also, Marshal Jacek Bogusławski from Wielkopolskie Voivodeship has been our guest online, but let me welcome him wholeheartedly. I would like to welcome the presidents and mayors of the cities, Katarzyna Gruszewska from Gdynia, Gdańsk, Mr. Piotr Borawski. I'm not sure whether he's in the room or watching us. And the mayor of the city of Piła, Mr. Piotr Głowski. The city of Piła is also betting on hydrogen, so these people are with us today. Of course, Przemysław Sztander, president of the PSSE, who has said so many warm words and whose guest we are today. We've all been talking about the new projects and about the companies that belong to the Pomeranian Special Economic Zone that we can also cooperate with and that can also have their participation, have their share in hydrogen technologies. As far as our cooperation with the self-government goes, we have been playing host to Mr. Marshall on multiple occasions, and the Hydrogen Valley Initiative, well, it has been a budding one, but already we have some concrete ideas. The recent Strakofer premiered 2 hydrogen-driven locomotives by PESA and Alstom. So it shows that such great fare in Pomorskie gives an opportunity to really see the actual hydrogen-driven vehicles. It's not just something that is a simulation, something that you can watch on TV as a simulation, but you can actually see it and touch it and benefit from these solutions. Throughout yesterday, we presented outside here in the zone, in the parking lot, a car, Toyota, that is hydrogen-driven. All these solutions prove that we are heading in the right direction. Now, briefly, I would like to tell you about the initiatives concerning hydrogen that are supported by financial institutions, including Environmental Protection Bank, Bank Ochrony Środowiska, but also the European Investment Bank that will allocate around 1 trillion euro to this. Speaking on behalf of the cluster, as the Pomeranian Regional Chamber of Commerce, we signed an agreement about the support. This is the 3rd such agreement right after the ones France and Portugal that has been signed at the European level. We would like to encourage all the entities working on financing hydrogen-related projects to keep on prospecting for all sorts of financing possibilities. You can turn to us for advice. This is the fourth PCHET conference. First two took place in Gdynia as local stationary ones. Today we are in Gdańsk. The previous one was also located in Gdańsk, but it was held online. Today we have a hybrid form. There are around 100 people in the room, but last year 500 participants took part online. So hydrogen technologies are really becoming popular in the society among those who are interested. So it will be difficult for us to gather so many people here in the venue, but there is a surprise in 2022. We would like to prepare a big initiative, the biggest hydrogen conference in this part of Europe. I believe that, well, certainly it will be the biggest in Poland. We would like to have it stationary, so in a venue with some evening event that would open up some more space for networking. You would be able to discuss hydrogen-related issues and have fun. I already invite you to the PCHET 2022 initiative, and I would like to thank those who are engaged into the organization efforts concerning the conference. Let's bear in mind that last year and this year, it has been quite a big event to us, especially with all the new media that we've been benefiting from. And I'm going to list now those whom I would like to thank. Tomek Pelc is with us, one of the moderators, Marek Fontynowicz, Piotr Maksyś, director of the cluster, Sławomir Halbert, Damian Mucha, director of the chamber, Justyna Grzesiek, who has been responsible for good communication with all the members of cluster and participants of the event. So I would like to thank all those. Let's applaud them. Let's applaud the entire team. Ladies and gentlemen, right behind them, there is the entire chamber team that has been supporting us and has been with us all the time. I would like to encourage you to listen to all the presentation debates, to ask questions actively, to join to networking. And now I will ask you for a short introductory video announcing 2022. Thank you.
I do hope that the applause at the end of the conference will be there as well. But before that, we have to, of course, move on to the essence of the conference. So at this point, I'd like to ask our sponsor, the sponsor of the technical part, the representative of Mr. Gąbka. Good morning, Mr. Marshall, your organizers. I do wish you a great conference, great discussion today. I'm really pleasantly surprised by the quality. This is the fourth conference. This is the first time we participate in this conference as a company. But I do think we'll be a regular guest these days. I'm from Poznań myself, so I am very happy that my colleagues from Poznań are also participating. We, as the company Bystrach, are a leader in warehousing, transport, and fueling hydrogen. This is our passion, our challenge. Our colleague Mateusz Gietek, who is the director of sales, will present at 1 p.m. today. I wholeheartedly encourage you to participate. I am sure it's going to be a wonderful conference. All the best. We'll see you soon.